Donald Trump brought on, I guess, the first openly gay speaker in prime time since 2000, I guess it was.
CEO of PayPal.
And Mika, you commented, you thought that was a very moving, very interesting moment.
The platform is the platform, but that moment was really quite remarkable.
And by the way, if anybody thinks that Donald Trump's going to be looking at the platform when he goes into day one of governing, if he gets elected, they not only don't know Donald Trump, they don't know any presidential candidate.
So this is the CEO of PayPal, Peter Thiel, a friend of Trump's, and just look at this moment.
We are told that the great debate is about who gets to use which bathroom. This is a distraction from our real problems. Who cares? Of course, every American has a unique identity. I am proud to be gay. I am proud to be a Republican. But most of all, I am proud to be an American.
So he goes on to say, let's not let these sort of fringe social issues get in the way of our message. But when he said that, the camera panned to the room, and the room was with him. It was really good to see.
You don't want to overstate anything, but I think culturally, I think that was a significant landmark for this country culturally. The party that has been seen as the most reactionary to the rights of many, many Americans and many different groups responded that way to Peter's declaration.
In the history of the Republican Party and gay rights, last night was one of the biggest days ever. But not just what Peter Thiel said, but Donald Trump twice made reference to the LGBTQ community, thanked the audience for cheering when he talked about it. And this is a party that has seen a huge sea change behind the change in the country at large, but a huge sea change in a lot of prominent Republican strategists, some office holders, including Rob Portman, the senator from this state, saying that we need to move to a more open view on gay rights. So last night was just a huge
might have just moved it.
I was impressed. I was down on the floor at that moment, and when Mr. Thiel went there.
He went there.
The room, in the past, Mark and I were talking about this before, the last convention in 12, that probably would have been a say what? Kind of moment.
And some booing.
And a lot of booing. But last night, this room carried Peter Thiel on that point. They carried that moment.
He looked a little like, okay.
And when Donald Trump came back and sort of doubled down on the point, not once but twice. And that moment for me was very important, was when he looked at the cameras and said, thank you for applauding that.
But wasn't there some definition of irony in his appearance last night on a day when the NBA took the All-Star game from Charlotte because of the Republican governor's approach to this issue in Charlotte, and because of the past history of fighting culture wars in political campaigns, largely led by the Republican Party.
I mean, I think what Marcus said, it's a significant turning point that you have a nominee who not only goes to the stage and makes the remarks he did, but more importantly, brings forward and puts before the nation a gay Republican and says in prime time, I'm with him. And the room went, okay, us too. I think that was important.
Well, it really speaks actually to Donald Trump's worldview that he hasn't really shown during the primary campaign. Social conservatives
doesn't care. Doesn't bother him.
Yeah, he just doesn't care about them. And again, and knowing for over a decade, social conservatives, if Trump is elected, duck, because he's not on your side on these issues. And it's not like this is the first time we've been saying that. He does not care. He has a more open view that certainly is more in line, at least with millennial voters and with an awful lot of voters. So that wasn't a real surprise to any of us that know Donald. It may be a surprise, though, to Jerry Falwell Jr.'s that go out and say certain things. There is a certain disconnect between his speech and other speeches and then what we heard the later we got into the evening.
So we have so much ground to cover. Still ahead on Morning Joe.